go today. We're going to the Battle of Hanging Rock, which is in the little town of, near the little town of Heath Springs, South Carolina. There was actually two battles, two skirmishes at Hanging Rock. One was July 30th, 1780, and that was an American victory. And then the other was a week later on August 6th, 1780, and that was led by General Sumter, or Colonel Sumter at the time, I guess. And Hanging Rock is near Heath Springs. Heath Springs is a little, kind of in the day was a junction, trading area on the road from Camden to Charlotte. It was semi-strategic, and the British were trying to fortify their position in the south by building all these outposts along near the Catawba River, and Hanging Rock was one of them. It wasn't a really fortified, it was more of a garrison. Didn't have the usual fortifications that other British outposts had. Wasn't really a fort, but there was a lot of men stationed there. I think over 500 British that were mostly Loyalists from North and South Carolina. Tories, they call them. It's a beautiful day, 78 degrees. No clouds in the sky. And this is Dutchman Creek. There's the lake. There's the creek. And good, this will give me a chance to test out my new Atlas throttle lock. It's a device that clamps your throttle down. This bike is so old I don't have electronic cruise control, so it acts as a cruise control, and I think it'll work pretty well. I installed it yesterday. Well, it's not working now. Just went through the little town of Great Falls, and going to turn right up here on Major Evans Road, which is part of 200 East, I believe. Yep, this is Belltown, or they call it Major Evans, but I call it Belltown. Nice country road. There's some donkeys looking at me. It's up here on the right. It says it's on the right, but there it is over there on the left. So let's see what this Jeep is going to do. Battle of Hanging Rock. Just pull over and walk up to this. About 2.5 miles south is Hanging Rock, where Major Davie of North Carolina surprised a British force August 1st, 1780. It was the night of July 30th and August 1st. They killed or wounded most of them. There also, August 6th, that was the second confrontation. Colonel Hill, Colonel Irwin, and Major Davie, all under General Sumter, successfully attacked the Prince of Wales American Regiment and the detachments of the 63rd and the 71st Infantries under Major Carden. The attack on July 30th was a diversionary tactic by Colonel Sumter, whose main attack was at Rocky Mount, which I showed you earlier. And Rocky Mount's about 15 miles east of here. Sumter split his forces and had Major William Davie and his North Carolina Patriots attack the British outpost at Hanging Rock. And we're going to go there next. It's just, what, 2.5 miles away. Well, this would be the Hanging Rock Battlefield trailhead. And you have to walk into the woods a little bit. There's Hanging Rock Creek, which the battle followed a lot of that creek. We may walk down in there and see if we can get to it. And here's the trailhead. Let's see if we can tuck it in here. We're going to walk down here to Hanging Rock. So, I'll tell you a little bit about this while I walk. On July 30th, Major Davie's forces, mostly from North Carolina, ambushed 3 companies of British Loyalists who were also from North Carolina. And they were bivouacked at a house within plain view of the main British encampment of 500 men. Now, Davie only had 40 dragoons and about the same number of mounted riflemen. So that was much too small of a force to attack the main British camp. But he had the element of surprise. And why was that? Because Davie's men were all dressed the same and talked the same and acted the same as the Loyalists. So it was kind of a Trojan horse operation. They sauntered right up casually towards the house and dismounted right past the Loyalist sentries and then started firing. So the British tried to retreat. It was in full view of the main encampment. But Davie had his dragoons circle around back and cut off their retreat. So they were kind of just cut to pieces in the middle. Within sight of the fellow British soldiers, Davie's troops then remounted, withdrew before the British could reinforce. Davie did not lose one man. It's peaceful back here. All woods. The battlefield itself on August 6th is extensive, and there's open fields. We rode by one. So it wasn't just hilly woods like this. Okay, a week later on August 6th, 1780, Sumter decided he would reattack this position at the main British outpost. So he marched his men 16 miles overnight from Rocky Mount, and they started attacking around dawn, 6 a.m. The Patriot riflemen concentrated their fire on the British officers, which was kind of a no-no in 1780. And it was reflected in the movie The Patriot a little bit. Anyway, within minutes, there wasn't anybody to give commands. And many of the Loyalists fell, and many surrendered. Interesting side note, one of the boys that was helping out the soldiers, he was too young to actually carry a weapon and fight, so they tended the horses in the back, was Andrew Jackson, 13 years old, future president of the United States. And the fighting here was intense and chaotic and bloody. All the woods made things very confusing. Davie wrote later that the action continued without intermission for 3 hours. And many men fainted from the heat and from lack of water. Here is the Hanging Rock Formation. And you'll see it is kind of hanging, but it's not going to fall. When we get down below, you'll see the plaque. We're going to walk up the rock into the sunshine. It's not terribly steep. It is high, though. Now, as the British encampment and position deteriorated, at the same time, Sumter's men were running out of ammunition. Oh, I think it's down this way. The Patriot forces rushed forward to seize any supplies they could find, and unfortunately, they found a large quantity of rum, and wouldn't you know, pretty soon, many of the Patriot forces were too inebriated to fall back and continue to fight. That dismayed Sumter a lot. Sumter lost the chance to completely rout the British encampment here, which was a missed opportunity. Out of about 800 men that Sumter started with, only about 250 remained available to keep fighting. Here's the Hanging Rock Formation. It's pretty cool. Good thing that smaller rock is right there to support it. When the British cavalry showed up from Rocky Mount to reinforce Carden, General Sumter kind of sensed he should make a hasty retreat, and he withdrew. He took lots of Tory prisoners, and kept the outpost, left the outpost for the British to re-inhabit later. Here's the plaque, the monument, the marker. Here was fought the Battle of Hanging Rock, August 6, 1780. 600 militia under the Carolinas, under Colonel Thomas Sumter, destroyed the British camp and killed and wounded over 200 of the British troops under Major Carden, with a loss of 40 killed and a few wounded. Actually, Patriot losses were 12 killed and 41 wounded. British losses, 25 killed, 175 wounded. 100 horses were taken by Sumter. 250 muskets and many supplies, and 75 were captured. Now, I also got into the rum. So it was a good American victory, but it was spoiled 10 days later by the Battle of Camden, which is a terrible defeat by the of the Patriots. And I think down here is Hanging Rock Creek. Let's walk down here. Nice creek. Still flowing. And the battle raged up and down here and into the fields off to over the hill for hours. So if you think this is an uphill climb, wait till I take you to Kings Mountain, which the British held on top, and the Tennessee and West Virginia and North Carolina mountain men overwhelmed them. It was a stunning victory uphill for the Patriots, but that's for another time. So I just thought I'd show you some of these stunning, huge rocks here. And now I'm on the main trail. I gotta head back somehow. Go up to that rock. And it's good to see that my trusty steed is still parked where I left it. Hopefully the helmet's still attached. And here's some of the open fields where a lot of the battle took place. Obviously you can't drag cannon up into those hills. And this is New Hope Road again. So I just kind of bypassed Heath Springs. Nobody coming.